Happy Hump Day. I've been having a really hard time with my computer and it's not saving documents. So I've been trying to figure out ways to fix some things that are incorrect on our Blackboard page because I added new documents that were really old documents. So the first thing that I want to show you quickly is if you go up to the checklist, I will have to scan a PDF of the more printable document because I can't save anything, but I can print it. So that'll take me a couple days. But this is our checklist of assignments. So as you know, we're probably wrapping up right now with the first unit, and some of you have started the second unit. And in this unit, we are looking at John Stoltenberg, Audre Lorde, and some other documents about rape culture. Then we'll have an exam. I put the due date as 3/8, but if you want to catch up with things over spring break, that is perfectly okay. And then after spring break, we're going to have fewer units because we'll be working on advertising analysis. So I had to, like I said, rearrange a little bit to make all of that make better sense, and I will add a printable copy of this checklist soon. What I want to point out about the unit that we started theoretically on the 10th is that it connects in a lot of ways to the previous unit. When you think about gender or biological sex, we typically think about that as a binary opposite or an opposition, like us, them, male, female, boy, girl. But in women's studies, the idea of not having things be oppositional, but rather as being more like a spectrum, especially with us, them, I find that a helpful way to think about the world. It's a mindset that allows us to understand people unlike us a little bit better. So this is the sex as spectrum chart that I added in the John Stoltenberg unit. And it's from Scientific American. This is pretty well researched material and very contrary to most of what you see in the Bible, of course. But I can't tell you how to reckon with that. There's also a document that has more details about the biology of intersex and the spectrum of sex. And there's also a YouTube video from our playlist in which I describe some of those things. So, great, this is a video about a video. In the uses of the erotic, we also have to think about a spectrum of desire. And traditionally, historically, and especially in our contemporary culture for a lot of ways, men are viewed as the ones with the desire and women are viewed as the ones who are the object of desire. So women's desire is not something that we talk about as much as men's desire, or shall we say, sexual energy. And this connects to the ways that people understand men and women within sexual context, erotic context, pornography, and in the legal context such as rape. So we have this unit that I've been developing based on a book by Chanel Miller and a really well-known case. And in this particular unit, a lot of what we've studied comes together in how you look at the ways they represent the perpetrator, the rapist, who was a 19-year-old Stanford University student, and the victim or survivor, who was a 23-year-old woman that happened to go with her sister to a Stanford party one night and drank too much. So we have all of this, a lot of material to think about this, and also a quiz about the material. And after that, we'll have the midterm, And then spring break is coming up. So if you need to finish any of this over spring break, if you want to get caught up with everything over spring break, that's okay with me. I'm submitting midterm grades on March 2nd. So if you try to do the first exam and submit the first paper before then, your midterm grade will be more accurate. But nothing, you don't get penalized for being on a different schedule than everybody else. I try to give everyone the opportunity to work at your own pace, although it's better in discussions if you can interact in something closer to real time. So after break, like I said, we're focusing more on that advertising unit, and I have moved that excuse me, the hair unit till after break so that you have more time to work on those things. They aren't all visible yet. This is my instructor setting, but if you have any questions, just send me an email, and I look forward to seeing what you think in the discussions.